Hello and welcome to the Medicine Buddha Meditations, a series of guided meditations. This is number 3 of 6, and the purpose of these meditations are really to give us something that we can use in our everyday life when we need to center ourselves a little bit again. If we find that things are running away with us, that maybe we're becoming a little bit anxious about things, or we just feel that we need to step back, calm down a little bit, and we just want to take a few moments in which to do that. And the role of these meditations actually is to encourage the focus of our attention to move away from our thinking center, where a lot of our ruminations and perhaps our negative thinking can carry us away and make us more distressed, and instead to learn to come to rest in the presence of the body. The wonderful thing about the body is that it doesn't think. What it does is it feels. It's a field of sensation, and there's a wonderful spaciousness in the body that if we get into the habit of returning to frequently, then it becomes, as it were, a counterbalance to that thinking center that otherwise we seem to spend a lot of our time in, and which can run away with us and cause us suffering, basically. So in the first two meditations that we did, we started with the whole body breathing, which was taking a deep breath in, and at the same time visualizing that breath coming in, entering in through the nose, sweeping down through the body, right down to the soles of the feet on the in-breath, and then reversing as we exhale through a slow, long exhalation out. And this performed two things. One, it is that it slowed the breathing down, so we were actually taking less breaths per minute, but also it lengthened the breathing. And this is the very opposite of what happens when we are emotionally excited. Say when we're anxious, our breathing becomes rapid and shallow. So that change in the frequency of the breath, the slowing the number of breaths down and also lengthening and deepening them, as well as adding that visualization together, which brings the body and mind together, will very quickly change our mood. Last week we put on a humming sound. Onto the exhalation, and that sort of vibrato effect enhanced the sensation in the chest and in the abdomen, and allowed us also to center a little bit onto that. So we're going to build on these previous two by this time using the vocal cords to produce a full-throated sound. And for our purposes this week, we're going to use a syllable. The syllable is ho, like this. And this is a syllable that comes from a chant, a Buddhist chant that we use called the Three Refuges. Those of you who are familiar with the Three Refuges will know that they are: I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Dharma, that's the Buddha's teachings, and I take refuge in the Sangha, which is the Buddhist community. And the syllable that's used for Dharma is this syllable ho, just normally spelt in the Roman alphabet H-O, hence the title for this particular Medicine Buddha meditation. And we're going to combine it with the in-breath that we used for the whole body breathing. And then on the exhalation, we're going to make that sound using our very full-throated sound and that whole breath. Now, just a couple of things to highlight, a couple of characteristics I just want to highlight with this. To make this sound, it's important that the throat is relaxed and open. So we don't want to squeeze the sound. So we don't want a narrow throat, ho, like this. We want the throat very open, ho, to make that very strong and open and almost cavernous, resounding sound. And the um, uh, uh, one of the ways that we can sort of just get the throat muscles into the right position, classically it's said when we're making this sound, we should imagine that we're holding a bowl of noodles and broth, like ramen, for example. And you know that when you drink the broth, you don't use a spoon, you actually lift the bowl as a vessel up to the mouth, and then you tip it up, and then you swallow mouthfuls of the broth, and you go. That really opens the throat and provides the right shape necessary for making this sound. So what we're going to do is we're going to make an inhalation, as we did for the full body breath, taking the breath in, and this time, not instead of taking it right down to the soles of the feet, just take it down to the lower abdomen. So allow the lower part of the lungs and the lower part of the abdomen to really swell outwards as we take the breath in. And then from there, we make that ho sound. And if you remember that we always preface this by getting our posture into the right shape. And if you remember, the way we do that is by imagining that we have a cord at the very top of our skull that lifts up, and as it lifts us up, it lengthens our spine. If you want more details on this, then listen to the first in this series, full body breathing. I will leave a link in the box below this video so that you can link to it if you've not heard it or if you wish to be reminded. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start off by getting ourselves into the right posture. So we can do this seated or we can do this standing up. Either way, really, it can be done quite informally. And then from our current posture, we imagine that cord just lifting the skull, and as it lifts the skull, the spine lengthens and it takes on that nice S-shaped curve. Just allow the shoulders to roll backwards a couple of times. Make sure there's no tension being held in those shoulders. And then from this, we just begin to pay attention to our breathing. And after we've done the inhalation and we've made the sound, then we will relax and just return to normal breathing for a few moments before then repeating the exercise. Okay, so we exhale. And then we inhale, drawing the breath down into the lower abdomen. Then open the throat and and relax. Now, maybe your breath may not have been as long as that, or maybe you're still chanting, that's fine. But just allow yourself to relax into the sound. The nice thing about this meditation is that not only do we feel it in the throat and in the chest, but we can also lose ourselves into the sound that we're actually making as well. And this also really just takes us away from that thinking about things and just experiencing that pure sensation. Okay, so now we're going to do it again. So exhale. Inhale. Open the abdomen, open the throat, and continue until the lungs are empty, and then relax and just breathe normally for a few moments. Notice the change of feeling in your body. Maybe you're experiencing an expansiveness, a sense of spaciousness. And exhale. Inhale. Open the abdomen, open the throat, and relax. Breathe normally. And for the final time, exhale. Inhale. To the lower part of the body, open the throat, and and relax. And breathe normally. That completes our third meditation in this series. Join us again next week for the next Medicine Buddha meditation.